Good morning. Today our topic is techniques in inventory control. At first, there is types of techniques in inventory control. ABC, always better control. VED, vital, essential, desirable. HML, high, medium, low. FSN, fast, slow moving and non moving. SDE, scarce, difficult, easy. Now there is three column. At first there is type of control, next there is basis of control, and next there is the main use of this type. At first there is ABC type of control. It is done on the basis of value of consumption of items, and the main use is to control inventory value. Next, HML type of control, that is done on the basis of unit price of item, and the main use is control purchases. Next type is XYZ, that is done on the basis of value of items in store, and the main use is to review inventories. Next type is VED, that is done on the basis of criticality of items, and the main use is inventory control of spares. Next is FSN type of control, that is done on the basis of consumption pattern of item, and the main use is to control obsolescence. Next item is SDE type of control, and that is done on the basis of problems of procurement, and the main use is lead time analysis and purchasing strategies. Next type is GOLF. This is done on the basis of source of supply, and the main use is procurement strategies. SOS, this type of control is done on the basis of nature of supply, and the main use is procurement and holding strategies for seasonal item. Now we start the ABC analysis discussion. It is the analysis of stores item on cost criteria. It is the process of classifying items by using values as measure. It is also called as Pareto analysis. Pareto principle. Pareto, an Italian philosopher and economist, observed that very large percentage of the total national income and wealth was concentrated in a small percentage of the population. He formulated the axiom that the significant value is a given group of items normally constitute a small portion of total number of items in the group, and that the majority of the items in the group in the aggregate will be of small significance. This is expressed as a thumb rule. 80% of the total value will be counted by 20% of the items. According to Pareto's theory, 10% items consume about 70% of budget. Group A. The next 20% consume 20% of financial resources, that is Group B, and remaining 70% items count for just 10% of budget, that is Group C. Here we can see that in table 1, average pattern of percentage of items, and percentage of their respective values. There is 3 column. At first there is items, next there is percentage of items, and next there is percentage of rupee value. In items there is A, B, C, 3 row. In A item there is 10% of items and 70% of rupee value. In B item there is 20% of items and 20% of rupee value. And next there is C items, that is 70% of items and 10% of rupee value. In this graph we can see that the x-axis represents the percentage of inventory items and the y-axis there is percent of annual cost. The A item, this is the percentage of inventory item of A item is very low, and the percentage of annual cost, that is high in A items. But in case of C item, the percentage of inventory item or inventory units, this is the count is high, but the percentage of annual cost, that is low in case of C item. We can understand clearly by this graph the ABC analysis. In A item, it is less in number. We can consume major portion of funds for this A item. We managed by these items is managed by top management. Tight control and rigid estimates of requirements is needed. Strict and closer watch is done for A items, and this A item require low safety stock. The example of A item: defibrillator, ventilator, etc. In case of B item, it needs moderate control, and this B item is purchased based on rigid requirement, and reasonably strict watch and control is needed, and management done at middle level. The example of B item is glucometer, medicine, etc. Now in case of C item, it is larger in number. In case of C item, we can consume lesser amount of funds. Ordinary control measure is needed. It requires high safety stock, and the management is done at lower level like paper pins, gauge piece, etc. Now we can see the difference between A item, B item and C item. That is, in A item it covers 10% of the total inventories. In case of B item, it covers 20% of the total inventories, and in case of C item, it covers 70% of the total inventories. In case of A item, it consumes about 70% of the total budget. B items consume about 20% of the total budget, and C item consumed about 10% of the total expenditure. A item require very strict control, B item require moderate control, C item require low control. It requires either no safety stock or low safety stock. B item requires low safety stock and C item require high safety stock. A item needs maximum follow-up, B item requires periodic follow-up, and C item needs close follow-up. A item must be handled by senior officers, B item can be handled by middle management, and C item can be handled by any official of the management. Now ABC analysis comparison. We can see that when ABC analysis is not applied, on that time, suppose the items are T1, T2 and T3, the annual consumption in rupees, the annual consumption of T1 is 60,000, the annual consumption of T2 that is 6,000, and the annual consumption of T3 that is 1,000. And next, the number of orders, that is for T1 it is 4, for T2 it is 4, and for T3 it is 4. We can see here that number of orders are same in this case. Next is the value per order in rupees, that is 60,000 by 4 is equal to 15,000. For T2 it is 6,000 by 4 is equal to 1,500, and next that is 250. Average inventory in rupees, that is the half of the value, that is for T1 7500, for T2 750, for T3 125. The average inventory in rupees, that is the half of the value per order in rupees. The total value is 8,375. Now we can see that when ABC analysis is applied, on that time number of orders varies. In that case, the number of T1 is 8, number of T2 is 3, and number of T3 is 1. So the value per order in rupees is varies like 7,500, 2,000 and 1,000. The average inventory in rupees in that case is decreases, and the total value is 5,250. So we can see that when ABC analysis is not applied and when ABC analysis is applied, on that time we can save the inventory cost. When ABC analysis is applied, inventory cost is saved, but when ABC analysis is not applied, on that time the average inventory value in rupees is very high. Now, procedure for ABC analysis. Make the list of all items of inventory at first. Next, determine the annual volume of uses and money value of each item. Next, multiply each item's annual volume by its rupee value. Next, compute each item's percentage of the total inventory in terms of annual uses in rupees. Next, select the top 10% of all items which have the highest rupee percentage and classify them as A item. Next, select the next 20% of all items with the next highest rupees percentage and designated them B items. And the next 70% of all items with the lowest rupee percentage are C items. Now, the advantages of ABC analysis. It is easy to control the wastage of costly items, easy to maintain cost and turnover rate, simple, no confusing formulas are involved, and it helps to exercise selective control. Now, the disadvantages of ABC analysis. It is inconvenient to compute and carry out this analysis when the items are in number of several thousand. More chances of deterioration of class C items as they are purchased in bulk. Loose control in C items may result in shortage. Focuses on money value and not on functional importance of such items, resulting in shortage of critical items. Does not take into account variation of price of items as time goes. Now, VED analysis. V means vital, E means essential, and D means desirable. It is based on how critical the items is for providing health services. V. The vital items without which a hospital cannot function. E. Essential items without which an institution can function but may affect the quality of the services. D. Desirable items, unavailability of which will not interfere with functioning because they can be easily purchased as and when required. Vital items without which treatment comes to standstill, that is, non-availability cannot be tolerated. The vital items are stocked in abundance and very strict control. Example, anti-snake venom. Next, essential items though whose non-availability can be tolerated for 2 to 3 days. Essential items are stocked in medium amount, reasonably strict watch. Example, corticosteroid drugs. Now, desirable items. These items whose non-availability can be tolerated for a long period. It is stocked in small amount and purchase is based on users estimate. Example, PCM. Although the proportion of vital, essential and desirable items varies from hospital to hospital depending on the type and quantity of workload. Here is the matrix of A, B, C and VED analysis. Combination of these two categories like a matrix combining A, B, C and VED categories. This matrix is more relevant in the hospital. There is 3 column VED, and 3 row ABC. The AV item which is in A row and V column, that type of items are AV item. Example, defibrillator. Next, BV item, that is in B row and V column, that is ventilator. The item that is in C row and V column, example, is PO2 machine. AE item that is in A row and E column, example, X-ray machine. BE item that is in B row and E column, that is electric cautery. CE item that is in C row and E column, example, patient trolley. Now, AD item that is in A row and D column, that is ear curtain. BD item that is in B row and D column, that is BP instrument. And CD item that is C row, that is in C row and D column, that is thermometer. The item that is in first row, that is called category 1. In the second row, that is called category 2, and the third row, that is called category 3 items. In category 1 item, most important one, and it is controlled by the administrator himself. Category 2 items, it is intermediate, it has intermediate importance, and it is under control of the officer in charge of the stores. And category 3 items, it has least importance and it is under the control of storekeeper. Items with high criticality V but required in small quantity, that is A, should receive highest priority. Items with low criticality, that is D, and which are required in big quantity, that is C, should receive least priority. VED analysis can be better used with ABC analysis in the following pattern. The AV items that needs constant control and regular follow-up. The BV item that is in B items row and in the V columns, that needs moderate stock. The CV item that is in C row and V column, that needs high stock. AE item that is in A row and E column, that needs moderate stocks. BE item that is in V row and E column, that needs moderate stock, and CE item that also needs moderate stocks. AD item that is in A row but D column, that should nil stocks. BD item that needs low stocks, and CD item that needs very low stock. Now, 8ML analysis. H means high, M means medium, and L means low. The basic criterion of HML classification is the unit value of the item. Unit value is the basis of this analysis and not the annual consumption value. H, the high items, which are called high items, the unit value is greater than 1000, sanctioned by higher officials. The M items, that is medium item, and the unit value is within 100 to 1000, and the low, the unit value is less than 1000, 100. Now, advantage of HML analysis: used to keep control over consumption at departmental level. Now, FSN analysis: fast moving, slow moving, and non-moving. It is based on the consumption pattern of the items. The methods is date of receipt or last date of issue, whichever is later, is taken to determine the number of months which has lapsed since the last transaction. Now, the analysis. For analysis, the issuing of items in past 2 or 3 years are considered. No issuing of item during that period, labeled N item. 10 to 15 issues in that period is S item, that is slow moving, and exceeding such limits of numbers of issues during that period, that is F item, first moving. Now, advantages of FSN analysis: it helps to avoid investment in non-moving or slow items. It facilitates timely control, and it is useful in controlling obsolescence. SDE analysis: S means scarce, D means difficult, and E means easy to obtain. S, the scarce items which are difficult to obtain, generally imported, which are in short supply, and it is managed by top level management. D, difficult items which are available indigenously but are difficult item to procure. E, easy items, easy to acquire and readily available in the local markets. It is useful in the context of scarcity of supply. XYZ analysis: XYZ has the value of inventory available on a particular date in the stores as its basis. This study is taken up once in a year during the annual stock taking exercise. X items are those items whose stock value is high. Y items fall between the two categories. Z items are those whose stock values are low. This classification helps in identifying the items which are being extensively stocked. If the management is caught napping, one can expect C items in the X category. Therefore, controls should be developed for ABC items in conjunction with XYZ items. Control of ABC item with XYZ classification. The class of items are A, B, C, and in the column there is X, Y, Z. The items that is in A row and X column, a critical analysis must be made to reduce the stocks. The items that is in B row and X column, the consumption and stock control must be reviewed more often. The item that is in C row and X column, steps should be taken to dispose of surplus stocks. The items that is in A row and Y column, attempts must be made to convert to Z category. The items that is in B row and Y column, further action in control may not be necessary. The items that is C row and Y column, the control should be tightened. The items that is A row and Z column, items are within control. The items that is in B row and Z column can be reviewed twice a year, and the items that is in C row and Z column can be reviewed once a year. Now, control of slow and non-moving items. The items that are in X row and F column, it impose tight inventory control. The items that are in Y row and F column apply normal inventory control. The items that is in Z row and F column increase stock to reduce clerical work. Now the items that is in X row and S column, we should reduce stock to low level. The items that is Y row and S column, we should keep low level of stock, and the items that is in Z row and X column, that is also we should keep low level of stock. The items that is in X row and N column, we should dispose of items at the best price. The items that is in Y row and N column, we should dispose of as quickly as possible, and the items that is in X row and N column, we should dispose of even at low price. Now, GOLF classification. The GOLF classification of inventory items is done considering the nature of suppliers. G means government controlled supplies, O means open market supplies, and L means local supplies, and F means foreign market supplies. SOS classification. This analysis is based on the nature of suppliers and period of their availability. S means seasonal items and OS means off seasonal items, that is items available throughout the year. Thank you.